Streaming, and more streaming. So what we're looking for are these Disney Plus subscriber numbers. Street's looking for 160 million subscribers or so. But more important than that number is actually what we're hearing about ARPU. That's average revenue per user, and whether or not they can increase how many people or how much people are paying. So that price increase on Disney Plus, that starts going up in a month from now, $10.99 a month, $7.90 a month for the ad-supported version. And also, there's this really cool experiment going on within Disney about can they use Disney Plus as this flywheel to inform other products. For example, just a few weeks ago, Brian, they put forward a program to give you exclusive access to special Disney merchandise if you're a Disney Plus subscriber. So if that experiment pays off, expect them to layer on more benefits on top of that. So I'm going to be looking for a lot of those comments on the call, Brian.
All right, Steve, thank you. Quint, to you. Listen, I get the streaming thing that Steve said, but let's also talk about the dollar, because I've got to imagine that, streaming aside, the stronger U.S. dollar is going to play some kind of role in how those Disney numbers look tonight.
Yeah, Sully, you're spot on here. I mean, 25% of Disney revenue comes from overseas, and it's going to be a huge headwind. So I think that's anticipated. I don't think that's going to be a shocker. But if the dollar strength persists, then it's something that investors have to factor in going forward. I am inclined to think that the streaming numbers are really going to be good, and I think they have pricing power. I don't think that anybody's going to balk at a few more dollars to keep the kids entertained in front of the Disney, set. It's not a problem there. The reality, though, even though the stock is fundamentally attractive, 19 times forward earnings, they're set to grow this year at 39%, modest debt to equity. The problem I see is that they've kind of lost their direction. They don't really know where they're going, who they are, what they're looking to become in the future. And I can't become comfortable with the stock again until I see that and I hear that. And you don't get paid to wait anymore, right? There's no dividend. So right now, Disney is just not for me. I think they're going to be good numbers. Wouldn't be surprised to see a pop, but not for me.
Not for you. Got it. All right, next up. Roblox, investors there getting pummeled. Stock losing 72% off its peak value. Company announcing much of their new metrics for daily active users and bookings already. But, Steve, what more can we expect from what has been a very volatile Roblox, which, as you reported a couple weeks ago, is also now going to be introducing advertising?
Yeah. That's part of the story, too, Brian. But first of all, it's those user numbers and how much they're spending within the game. Now, we heard from Take-Two Interactive just last night, and we heard from EA, Electronic Arts, the week before, and they're all pointing to these really sour and dour mobile gaming numbers. Take-Two revised their guidance down last night because mobile gaming is kind of falling off a cliff as we come out of the pandemic and people aren't spending as much time on their phones anymore. So they have that huge headwind ahead of them, which is why you're seeing Roblox put forward new products like this advertising thing that's going to start, rolling out more slowly. But the idea is, look, we can create this new kind of interactive advertising, not just billboards within the metaverse. But look, they really got to find ways to keep people, the users they have, if they can't grow them as quickly, keep them within the game, because when the more people stay within the game at Roblox, they like to say that's how much more they're spending. And of course, age is also a thing. It's Hugh's very young. So any more color we get on how that audience might be aging up is also very important, Brian.
Well, you're also, Quint, just betting on kids in many ways. I mean, some of these games that were hot, all these first-person shooters and these survival games like PlayerUnknown's, we don't even talk about them anymore. Now they talk about Elden Ring and other stuff. I just don't know if we want to bet everything on Roblox, right? And the kids, it's the new Minecraft.
Yeah, my kid said stay away. He said it's not even in anymore. Don't touch it. Now, this is an interesting one, because if we get any sort of decent numbers here, this stock could have a significant short squeeze and be a momentum type trade into the end of the year. But betting on this ahead of the report, no way. I mean, it's just you're playing with the lotto, and it's not even a Powerball type ticket. So this one, debt to equity 2-to-1. I mean, they're losing money. We got to hear about their path to profitability. But if it is improved, this is one of those where we're watching closely. If they show these things that are positive and they're on the road to profitability and we're seeing strong numbers, This could be a good trader into the end of the year, but we don't have a position here. Wouldn't touch it into earnings.
Okay, well said. And by the way, shout out to your kid. I mean, you get my point. You're betting on trends that will come and go sometimes in a matter of years, and then they go. I don't know if this will or not, but Quint, Tatro, Steve Kovac, we got to go. Our time is up.